colleague Michael Appel is following this story, and he joins me now this morning. Mike, you were talking about making calculations about this mine and the kind of jobs that are going to be lost here. So 13,000, what does that translate to in terms of the trickle-down effect?
Well, we know in South Africa that it's a reality that, especially in the mining industry, many others, but especially in the mining industry, you have people that are supporting so many other people.
Extended family.
The dependents, let's call them. So if you hypothetically take the 13,000 over 2 years of this phased-in approach of cutting jobs, if there are 5 dependents, you're looking at 65,000 people that are impacted by this announcement yesterday. And if there are 8 dependents, which is more likely the case in many of the cases, 104,000 people that are going to be impacted by this.
Dramatic reaction from the Minister of Mineral Resources. Some would say perhaps it's justified, but what is the mine saying is the reason behind why they want to do what they are doing?
Well, a mine is a business. That's essentially it.
Yeah.
It wants to remain in the black. So call it what you will. It's the bottom line that's at stake here. The board voted, Implat's board voted to implement, quite interestingly, the term they've chosen is the strategic transformation process to kick in now, which is the shedding of these 13,000 jobs, the closing from 11 operating shafts to 6. But Nico Muller, the CEO of Implat, yesterday saying, if there are any buyers for these shafts, which we're going to just close down, come forward, keep these jobs going. But they're too deep, the mines are too deep. We've got 80% of the world's platinum here. But a lot of it is just unprofitable to mine. It's too deep, it costs too much. Labor relations in this country means the unionization of the workforce means that there are a lot of issues, a lot of downtime, there's strikes, there's labor disputes. It's becoming more and more expensive to mine in South Africa. And Implat's saying, well, we just can't. If we want to remain fully funded, which means profitable, then we have to shed these jobs.
Well, I can only think of another example, similar example. In fact, that mine is actually being sold as we speak, platinum. Lonmin, the Lonmin platinum mine, the infamous Lonmin platinum mine.
Yeah.
The unions, Mike, surely they're not taking this line down, though.
No, not at all. I had a cursory glance at the National Union of Mine Workers' Twitter feed. I'm going to be speaking to the Deputy President a little later this morning, Philip Vilakazi, about exactly how they're going to, what options do they have to try and stop this culling of jobs. Do you go and strike, which may just result in more jobs being lost?
Yeah.
You know, what options are available? Now, it's interesting what Gwede Mantashe, the Mineral Resources Minister, said is they were in the beginning process of a Section 52 in terms of the Act. Now, that means that if you're going to lose as a company more than 500 jobs, you have to let the ministry know that this is the plan, and then there is a downscaling in a prescribed manner.
So is Mantashe saying that this wasn't done by the mine? Instead, they simply...
they were at the beginning of the Section 52 process, and he says they've now gone and jumped the gun. So they were in the middle of negotiating the downscaling, and then Implat came out and announced 13,000, completely sort of leapfrogging the whole process.
Mike. Of course, it's a bit early to sort of gauge how the actual workers who are going to be affected by this are saying, but I imagine that you're going to probably have time to try and speak to them. Have you had any chance to try and chat to some of the workers?
Look, the question is, where are the mining bosses? Where are those that are making the decisions? They're in Johannesburg. Getting out to Rustenburg, these people are down 2 kilometers underground. So there would be little point in speaking to them at the moment. They're not on a strike, so they wouldn't be outside. They're going to be working at the moment. But today, I'll be heading over to, as I said, to NUM's Deputy President to go speak to him, see where Mr. Mantashe is, the minister. I did speak to his spokesperson yesterday to find out what his diary is looking like today. One would imagine after the statement yesterday. He wants to speak to Implats.
It would also be interesting, Mike, to hear from AMCU, because remember, they are now in the majority as far as the platinum sector is concerned. They are the majority union, and particularly in the Rustenburg Platinum Belt. Have you had a chat with them?
No. I'm going to get in touch with Joseph Matunjwa, see where he is today. One would imagine that it's just damage control for them at the moment. And let's not forget, in terms of the ministry, the environment in which we're operating now. 2019 is election year. What are the two biggest issues in the country that pollers are saying? It's jobs and land. So the government needs to be serious about the jobs issue, hence a very strong statement from Gwede Mantashe yesterday.
These are tough times. These are tough times for the Ramaphosa administration. Well, thank you very much, my colleague, Michael Appel, talking to us about that important decision that is going to be taken by the Impala Platinum Mine, planning to cut 13,000 jobs. Well,